Hi, folks. Okay, so today's topic might not be too popular of one, but who knows? Let's go for it. Homelessness. There are about as many different ways to be or experience homelessness as there are people to experience it. And I know that I mention all the time that I used to be homeless or that I spent on and off 18 years homeless. Let's talk a little bit about what that actually means. I was a backpacker, and it wasn't always by choice. There were times when I wanted to settle down and that fell through, and I couldn't do what I wanted to because I didn't have an address or an ID. So even though I was homeless by choice or traveling, I was a road dog, I was a dirty kid, hippie slash hybrid thing. Um, I still experienced a lot of the same symptoms of homelessness. So when I try to correlate that experience to people who may not have that base understanding of what a dirty kid is or what somebody who travels and backpacks in America might mean, I just say homeless because they get that. They get that, oh yeah, you're trying to find a place to sleep in the rain and the bugs keep biting you and you can't cover all the way up in your sleeping bag because it's too hot and you can't breathe under there. But if you let it down for even a second, then you're bug food. And it's like, ah, so I mean, even though we didn't technically call ourselves homeless at the time, we still experienced all the same stuff. We still have that insight of what it's like to be on the streets and on the road for an excessively long amount of time. And now my life is a little different. Like, for a lot of different reasons, most of them legal, I wasn't allowed to live here for a good long while. But now I have this. And I can play in it and work and do all kinds of stuff. And learning how to reintegrate into the system is still proving to be very challenging, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm totally getting there. I talked to a store, and hopefully I'll be getting some of my pieces into the store soon, and that would be cool. They have like a gallery inside. While homeless, I was in somebody's bus. I got ditched at someone's house. Thank God for that person. Like, if it weren't for where I got dumped at, I would probably have had a way rougher go of it. But he was really nice and he let me use his spare room and work. And I eventually got enough money to ship everything here so that I didn't lose my store, because that was number one. Like, oh no, I started this store in Colorado and then all of a sudden I'm in Vermont, and it was very up in the air. I didn't know what was going to happen or if I was going to lose my store, but I was very determined not to let that happen. And I actually, um, real quick, in case you're low income and you want to start crafting, I bought these two masks at the Dollar Tree. And I bought most of the stuff, like the little fan I deconstructed. I got that at the Dollar Tree. I think I got the gears on AliExpress. So it takes 3 weeks for shipping, but if you've got a friend with a house or whatever, you can make really fancy looking stuff. I took the original strap off and put my own strap on. No pun intended. And then this is a really fancy, let's put the light off that so I don't have any glare. This is a really fancy cyborg mask, and I got everything at the Dollar Tree except for the jump rings. I did get those at Hobby Lobby, and I think this is an electronic key of some sort for an electronic device. I have no idea. It was just a found object. Um, but yeah, it was all very cheap to start, and so I didn't have ID. I didn't even have ID when I opened my store. So what I did was I verified my identity with NetSpend, and you have to actually be the person that you're saying you are. Even though you don't need any physical copies, they do ask for a lot of information. And if you don't know it, you're not going to be able to just steal somebody else's ID and open a NetSpend account for anonymity. They put a stop to that for probably because of Silk Road, but we're not talking about that today. So you can get a card to use funds online, to have funds transferred to open an Etsy or some other online avenue, to open a PayPal account and have your account linked to the PayPal account so that people can pay you online for things that you've made. That was really helpful. Um, I backpacked. I went to a lot of rainbow gatherings. A lot of you watching this probably know this, but I feel like everybody that comes to my channel may not, so I might as well talk to everybody about these things. Um, I did have a lot of fun, but I feel like a lot of the time I was lying to myself about how much I loved the life. Like, yes, I do love the life, but I don't like missing my kids. I don't like being looked down on by a lot of people. I don't like having the only conversation that I have with somebody for several weeks on end to be, excuse me, miss, you can't sit here. Could you move along? Or, you can't sit here, move along. You know, and it gets psychologically burdensome at times. Like when things aren't going well and you don't know what to do and you're just like at an impasse, because you adapt, you survive, you do everything you can to make sure that you're okay, and you learn that, like, oh, there's food in the dumpster. Okay, that sounds easy enough. You learn that under the bridge, everybody there is most likely your friend. Every now and then there might be some gangsters or like wannabe thugs or whatever, but for the most part, there's a community on the road anywhere that you go. And if there isn't, there can be by the time you leave. And it's as simple as sitting down with somebody and having a conversation. And yeah, my lifestyle has changed a lot, obviously, because I went from living out of a 60-pound backpack, or 40-pound backpack, probably, I'm overestimating, to living here in my home and having all of this, and now I have to worry about SEO. Like, what? When I first asked what SEO was, people were like, you know this stuff. I've never even filed taxes, guys. I don't know how to drive. I don't know how to do anything. I barely know how to get PayPal to send me my money. I barely know how to get Etsy to send me my money for the first 6 months, or no, yeah, for the first 6 months of my store. My mom had to help me a lot, and I'm grateful. Not everybody has that resource. Like, when I tell people how to's, I try to come from the perspective of not everybody has this. Not everybody will have this. That's why they're stuck out there, is because they don't have a situation that they can just go to that's stable. I mean, I I walked everything that I owned, which was like my 45-pound backpack, my drum, my skateboard, my washboard, because I play two instruments and I didn't want to lose them either, and two giant storage bins down, like, I don't know, a mile. Well, probably 2.5. Uh, I'm thinking like maybe a little, 3/4 of a mile. 3/4 of a mile is about right. Just because I got ditched in the middle of nowhere at a dilapidated house with a fallen in porch. Thanks, guys! But, so, that wasn't for all of you, just the ones that know what they did. I got back. Within, like, a couple of hours, I was back in town, and that whole fiasco really screwed me up, but I did it. I did it. And, I think that it's easy to get stuck in the idea that it's not gonna work. And sometimes I get frustrated with how many roadblocks I find, and I've been really fortunate with people who really hook it up, and they care about me, and if it weren't for those people, I don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing. And the privilege of knowing so many people that care about me, and to have collected a lot of them while I was on the road, is astounding. I don't know what I did to deserve you guys, but there you are, and here I am. And I'm learning all new things. I feel like that show Strangers with Candy, like the 45-year-old woman who goes back to high school right where she left off. Except I'm not in high school, thank God. I am here, but I still have to pick up my life where I left it, and I was 17 when I left, so I only knew how to do the things that 17-year-olds do. Yeah, let's not talk about that, but yeah, I can't think of anything else for today, but I wanted to touch base and let you guys know I'm in a lot better mood than I was yesterday. Probably be uploading this to my YouTube. Um, but yeah, homelessness is a mental trip, and as well as a physical one. And while you get to see a lot of the country that other people couldn't even pay enough money to see, you get to see all the coolest graffiti. And I got to work with alligators thanks to my friend Chris, and that was really cool. Um, I've gotten to do a lot of great stuff that I can't imagine any other scenario where I would have gotten to experience those things. But I'm even more grateful to experience this now. And I think that a lot of the time I was trying to lie to myself to escape the pain of missing my kids. And now that I'm fortunate enough to be with both of them, I'm just astounded, like, wow, so much of my crazy is gone. And I still get frustrated, and I still do kind of flip out a little bit. I am still mentally ill. I am still schizophrenic. But now I have almost everything I wanted. I want to be successful. I want to be stable. I don't need $1 million house, and in fact, I'll probably never have one, because even if I got that successful, I would give most of my money away. But other people have needs too. I'm not the only one, and I don't like to see other people suffer any more than people like to watch me suffer. So, but I love you guys, and I'll talk to you probably tomorrow or the next day.